is going on? Welcome back to Big Out Baseball Banter. Yikes. Episode 29. Got quite a lot to talk about, so let's banter. All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Big Out Baseball Banter, episode number 29. And we have some housekeeping I have to go through real quick, and then we're going to get into some of the topics. So you can see I'm alone right now. Unfortunately, Ben's not going to be able to be in the videos. He's just too busy. He's got a lot of stuff. Mad respect to Ben. There's no falling out, none of that shit. I didn't kick him out, nothing like that. Ben's gotten a little too busy with stuff. I'm going to make sure he gets on, though. I'll make sure he calls in, stuff like that. But from now on, for the foreseeable future at least, Ben won't be able to be in the videos. But I really want to thank Ben for, all the stuff he's done for the show. I pitched the idea to him originally. He was right. He was on board with it. We did the regular podcast for a bit. We went live with it. And, mad respect to Ben, man. I really appreciate him doing this. So, Ben, if you're watching this, thanks for everything. You're still part of the crew. And he'll probably still do the Instagram too, because he kills it with that shit with all the memes and stuff. So check out our Instagram, big up baseball banter, big.apple.baseball.banter. You see, Ben can't he's the one who usually announces it. But maybe I'll get a I don't know, like a video of him plugging the Instagram or something. You're here. What's up, Jose? Nice to see you, man. So yeah, Ben unfortunately won't be in the videos. So that kind of sways the content direction. It's just going to be me now, unless I find a replacement, which I'm not planning on it. It's probably going to be we're probably not going to be talking Yankees the way we did before. We'll probably just Mets and then to also talk MLB. What's going on, man? And so I also want to make these videos a little more structured, like we talked about last time. So we're going to go through some topics and then we'll do the call-ins towards the end. I'll try to keep my topics pretty quick because the call-ins, that's kind of why I like doing this show. That's my favorite part, is just talking baseball with other people. And, I definitely need to practice my podcasting skills by myself. Saying and all that stuff. It's tricky at first, but I just need to get used to it, talking just straight to the camera, not with this conversation. And also let me guys know, I'll make maybe a video or a poll about it. If you guys are interested in maybe me posting some football content. I know we have a lot of NFL fans. I know I make a lot of like Jets references and whatnot. I'd definitely be down to post some NFL content. Maybe I change the channel name, but keep Big Out Baseball Banter as a series, as a show, and kind of have some different stuff. Maybe bring some other people on board. We got a lot of great stuff coming in for the future. Also, I'm gonna try to do some. I'm working on another episode of Shay What for sure, and I'm gonna try to work on maybe some other kind of side show, like a series recap show, like not a live show. I want to do some other cool stuff like that. We've only really been doing like the once a week stream thing, so I kind of want to be able to do a little more. If you guys want to see me too, I'm on a Mets fans only channel pretty much every week, multiple times a week, sometimes to watch the games. Mets Weekly. Shout out to him though for having a smaller channel like myself on there. Great guy, man. Shout out to Mets fans only, all the dudes over there. Hayden, you guys know him, Mets fan. Tony Metro, Frank, all those guys they're awesome, man. So yeah, you guys can check me out on there. So I'm gonna get started this week. So like I said, we're predominantly gonna be more of a Mets channel now. I'm gonna start with the studs and duds for the past week for the New York Mets. So we finished off last episode with the Phillies series, and so we had one more game. The Phillies doubleheader. We had one more game. And by the way, I'm not going to say I'm going to ignore the chat. I'm going to not get distracted by it while I'm going through the main topics. And then when you get to the end, we'll have the chat. Trolls, like I said, y'all are welcome. I don't give a shit. We got no mods or anything. So you guys are welcome. We'll have the live calls. I'll put the link in when that happens. But I want to get through these studs and duds first. And I'll probably end up clipping some of the podcast clips, as their own video, something like that. So I want to make it more of a podcast and just a free-for-all live stream, if you guys know what I'm saying. So let's start with the studs and duds. So our last episode finished off with game 2 on the 13th of April. We beat the Phillies, both games. And then the next game, we ended up being the Phillies again, 5-1. This was a really good game by the Mets. Good pitching performance by Peterson, I believe who it was. Yeah, Peterson. Great performance by him. Really shut me up. But the stud had to have been Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo had a great outing yet again, getting on base nonstop here. I should probably just pull up the numbers. I should have done this in advance, but just getting on base constantly, not just walking too. He's driving the ball, hitting it hard. His defense has also looked a lot better recently. So yeah, Peterson on the mound, like I said, he was definitely in stud consideration. Six innings, only 2 hits, one of which was a home run, an earned run. He had 10 strikeouts too, which Peterson's not the big strikeout guy. So I was shocked to see that, but I was very happy to see that. Dud though, I'm gonna go Luis Guillorme. He just had, as I call it, a 0 day where you don't do anything. And obviously this is baseball. You're gonna have days where you don't get hits, you don't even get on base. And I'm not saying these are bad players. I'm just saying from this game, Luis Guillorme had the smallest impact. He was holding down third base. JD Davis is back. I'll get back to him. I'll get to him in a little bit. Up next, we have our first game in Colorado. Game one, the Mets won 4-3 here in Colorado. The stud was Jacob deGrom. He was phenomenal. Didn't give up any earned runs. Gave up 3 unearned runs, one of which they came on because of errors and stuff like that. McNeil made a bad error. But he had 14 strikeouts, which is, I hope this guy gets to 15. It seems like he gets to 14 all the time and then doesn't beat his personal record. And he was absolutely phenomenal, especially pitching in Coors Field. He was not happy with himself, screaming into his glove because he expects to put zeros out there, man. That's how good Jacob deGrom is. You literally expect perfection from this guy, and he delivers majority of the time. Jacob deGrom, obviously the stud. Dud, like I said, Jeff McNeil, he also did nothing at the plate for the most part, but that was a pretty costly error. We were able to come back from it. Luis Rojas this game also managed a great game, if I were to say so myself. He pinch running, who was it? McCann got on in the ninth, and then he pinch ran Almora. And then VR drove him in, and Almora had some terrific base running there, a ridiculously good slide. And for a guy like that who doesn't get so much playing time, he's a defense and more of a running guy. Seeing him excel in the base path's really important. That's a tough job, sitting on your ass on the bench for the whole time and finally getting up, and you have to pinch run full speed. That's not easy, man. And he nailed it. So, I mean, Almora's not going to be my stud just because of a pinch running. He's one of the big reasons we won the game. Obviously, VR too. Our bench guys kind of carried us this game. But Jacob deGrom was phenomenal. Like I said about Jeff McNeil, though, he didn't have a good game. He was batting 6 this game, and he put up zeros. And putting up zeros for a pitcher is amazing. Putting up zeros for a hitter is terrible. But he put up zeros in 4 at-bats. Not a good game by Jeff. He did redeem himself a little bit the next game, though, or later in the series. Next game was game 2 of Colorado, and this was not good. I had very limited expectations going in. German Marquez is a great pitcher. Is Joey Lucchesi? Not really. He's decent. He's not great though, especially he's not all the way stretched out. And Jeff McNeil though did have a good game. Jeff McNeil this game went, as I'm pulling it up, I got to get better about having this stuff easier. But we lost 7-2 here. Tough loss, man. And I'll go into a big reason why we lost this game, and why they blew us out like this. So Jeff McNeil he only went 1 for 3, but had 2 RBIs, which no one hit in this game. He had a big hit. I think it was a double, I believe. And if you guys watch the game, you guys already know who the dud is. Jacob Barnes was fucking horrendous, dude. 1 inning, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk. Disaster. The fact that this dude's still on the team just baffles my mind. So then next game, we actually won, but we only won 2-1. And I'm going to get into this issue once I kind of recap the series. Marcus Stroman was easily the stud, though. Marcus Stroman was phenomenal. He's the only times he's given up runs in a start, he's given up 1 run. He's been absolutely dominant. I'm actually going to have a Shea What episode coming out about kind of him and who we should extend, stuff like that. So look forward to that. I'll try to get it out by the end of the month. Maybe I can, reach for that. Maybe not that. I'm going to try get, nice with the editing and whatnot. I'm also pretty busy too. So I got other stuff besides the channel, but I'm going to try to, not just do live streams, not just do, podcasts and talking. I'm going to try to do, longer form videos like that. But getting back to this, Marcus Stroman was absolutely phenomenal. He was dealing, man. And man, he played his position, not throwing, but fielding phenomenally. Throwing, obviously, made that insane play. And then some people were complaining that he was taunting for pointing to the Gold Glove because he obviously won a Gold Glove. I think he's going to win the Gold Glove this year. That was my preseason prediction, and it's looking pretty good. He's just a freak athlete, man. like a guy his size, he doesn't throw so hard, but he's fast, man. You see him. He takes that he when I hear him, excuse me, man. When I hear his interviews and whatnot, he hones in. He's like, I spend more time honing in on my body than my actual pitching. And that's not saying he doesn't practice pitching or whatnot, but Dud, Dom Smith put up zeros, was not good. And some of the other guys who played better than him also had some defensive value. So Colorado series, my stud was Marcus Stroman, just for that one start. I thought about giving it to Jacob DeGrom, but even though they were unearned runs, he still gave up the runs. So I think Mark Stroman gets a slight edge. Was he striking everyone out? No. But hang on, just getting a message from Ben real quick about because if you guys are missing, give me one sec, guys. Yeah, so just got an update from Ben. Ben will be. Sorry, I totally cut myself off. Ben will still be doing the Instagram. Just won't be part of the videos. Rewind if you guys missed a bit with Ben. So Marcus Stroman, I give him slight edge over Jacob DeGrom. For series studs, usually give it to position player because they're gonna play every day, but not with this offense currently. And Dom Smith did not have good series whatsoever. Just didn't do much, and he's not giving you value defensively. So this series, we played well. I didn't expect the sweep. I expected to win the series like this, but it's not a good sign looking like this. We need to score more runs. Am I worried? Am I saying this team sucks? No. I'm saying this team needs to wake up, and it's not only their fault. The start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. That nonsense. It sucks, man. It's constantly start, stop, start, stop. Rain delays, snow delays, COVID delays. This team next homestand needs to get into a good rhythm and hit with runners in scoring position. This team gets hits, but does not drive guys in. And this has been going on since last year, which makes you think this might be a Luis Rojas issue. And that's very good take. If you mention that, I'm not disagreeing with you whatsoever. The pitching was phenomenal though, especially in cores, except for the one kind of dud of a game, but Jacob Barnes was terrible. Um, you know, Marcus Stroman and Jacob DeGrom just did what they do. They were just phenomenal, man. All right, let's get into last night's game because oh boy was it ugly. Hayden, what's going on, man? Last night's game was ugly. We lost 1-3. This offense was a fucking disaster last night. We couldn't get hits off Jake Arrieta. We only got him from this clown walking us. Jake Arrieta's not good anymore. We've played him in Philly the past couple of years. He's been a disaster. This game, I watched it live last night on Met Fans Only, and that was a great time. And I'm glad I did because man, the game would have been boring if I didn't watch it with those guys. Shout out to everyone on that stream. Hayden, one of them, he's in the stream right now. So I have two stud. I have a stud and a dud. I'm kind of cheating here. My stud is JD Davis's bat, and my dud is JD Davis's glove. I had the highlight. Let me see if I can find it on MLB Film Room queued up already because oh boy, JD Davis's defense was a disaster last night. This dude, I made a joke. He's like playing quarterback while he's throwing. Like he gets the ball and takes like 5 steps, and he talks about like I'm glad he's not doing the shit he was doing in 2019. I guess taking his time helps. He's a good arm, but if you're taking that long, you better make a missile throw and don't one hop it. Make a straight throw to your first baseman because you don't have time if you're waiting that freaking long, man. Disaster last night. Defensively. Now, offensively, hit us a home run. That's dope. And no one else hit last night. Francisco Lindor, I considered him putting as a dud. He was horrendous at the plate last night, rolling over the pitcher in his first at bat, one of the wimpiest swings. And look, it's okay to criticize the guy. Do not be saying that, oh, he sucks or, oh, it's over. Why do we pay this guy? Because that's ridiculous too. This offense as a whole is not playing well. But I'm gonna run these JD Davis errors real quick because this is embarrassing. Give me 1 second, guys. I got it queued up on MLB Film Room. So let me just share my screen here for y'all. And for all you guys here for the call-in segment, that'll be starting very shortly. So watch this. All right, let me turn the volume down. All right, here comes the pitch. Look how long he takes. One hop. Pete can't dig it out. Let's watch it again. I mean, look how long he takes, man. What the heck? Takes forever, man. And again, takes so long. Look how high the throw is, too. Like, his accuracy on that is terrible, man. He looked awful, man. Um, so yeah, J.D. Davis's defense was really bad last night. Taiwan Walker was not good either. Um, walked a lot of guys. I love Ty though. He's gonna have a couple rough starts. He's not our ace. It's okay for him to have a couple rough starts. Now here's the best part. We got some ejections last night, and boy oh boy, those ejections were dope. And Hayden says it here. Should not be patting the ball. Exactly. And if you want to pat it and do all that shit, don't take a million years to do it. Don't make an actual accurate throw. He talked about, the cold weather. If you watch his presser, getting, a good grip on the ball. Yes, I understand that, but like, how do you expect this guy to make some barehanded plays or whatnot? JD Davis, like, he's not a starting third baseman. He's a DH or a first baseman. And I don't know how much longer he has on this team. And I hate saying that because I like this guy. Not only, him and Dom with the Cookie Club, but I like the guy's bat a lot, man. Good right-handed bat, but where are you going to put him? Because unless Dom automatically becomes some gold glove left fielder and Nimmo becomes some gold glove center fielder, JD Davis, I don't think he can be your DH. And boy, oh boy, he cannot be your left fielder either. So I don't, I think the Mets will end up trading him next offseason just because he's not an Alderson guy. Now, I hate when teams trade guys because they're not their regime's guys. It's a good player. It's a good player. But we had some ejections last night. Talon Walker got ejected while he was getting taken out. Letting the ump know this ump fucking sucked, man. He was terrible. Now, I got a funny clip for y'all. Me and the guys over on Met Fans Only's YouTube channel, we watched this is Luis Rojas' ejection. Luis Rojas actually got ejected, and I'll talk more about him in the next segment. But just watch.
Yeah, he got pulled. Wow! He stood up where I was playing.
What a job by Louis.
Wow.
Great job, buddy.
And at the end,
React.
And for Louis.
A couple of Louis. Wow, he got tossed.
This is legit sad, man. When the thing we're celebrating, we're not winning, we're not scoring, is our shitty manager getting tossed because, hey, man, and I'm going to move to the next segment. My assessment for Luis Rojas. He finally stood up for his guys, man. Hayden, if you guys watch Hayden's channel, stuff like that, he's constantly reiterating this. Stand up for your guys. That's your job as a manager. Get in the umpire's face. He finally did it, man. He got his ass tossed. That was great to see from him. Shout out to my man Luis Rojas for that. Did he manage a good game last night? No. Yeah, last night managing was terrible, man. Having Gesellman go only for one batter, just go to Jacob Barnes for 2 innings. I mean, Jacob Barnes was okay last night, but it's Jacob Barnes. What do you expect? And I guess other studs I can mention from that game. Trevor May had a really good outing too. So shout out to him for that. But the only thing I can really think of is Jaden Davis's bat was great and his glove was terrible. So Luis Rojas finally got tossed. Good to see from there. But to get in the chat real quick, Hayden says should not be. I mentioned that before. Elias wants that dub. Yes, sir. All right. I'm going to go to kind of a unique topic now. We've never really talked about this on the channel. I'm going to be talking about MLB The Show. Now, I don't play MLB The Show. I'm not MLB The Show. I'm not a video games guy. I've never really been one. I do music when I don't do baseball. Baseball is kind of my side thing from music, my form of entertainment. So the ratings came out, and I love seeing guys, especially in Madden with football guys react to their ratings. I always like seeing guys, baseball guys react to their ratings, and MLB actually had some guys, go over the ratings. So they have the top 10 hitters right here and the top 10 pitchers. So let's get into it. Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, 2 best hitters. And then you got Nolan Arenado. Now, I'm cool with Nolan Arenado being here because of his defense, but his batting his hitting's not, to level those other guys. I'm a big Nolan Arenado guy. That's a little high for me, especially some guys down here like Ronald Acuna, Manny Machado, for Christian Yelich, Juan Soto below him. I think Nolan Arenado's top 10 third baseman. I think he's the best third baseman in baseball personally. but third best at 98 rating, a little rich. I'd maybe have him at a 95, especially tied with Mookie Betts. I don't think he's close to what Mookie Betts is. Now, I think Nolan Arenado is a phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong. He's proven everyone wrong about the whole course field thing. And Armand, I really appreciate it, bro. Appreciate that. So, yeah. Then we have Aaron Judge. Now, you guys probably expect me to rip this and say, oh, well, you hate Aaron Judge. You think he stinks. No, I don't think he stinks. I think Aaron Judge is awesome when he's on the field. The issue is he's never on the field. But these games typically don't that injury proneness, that's a word, does not really affect whether or not you're going to be, a better player or not in this game. In real baseball, your best ability is your availability. In MLB The Show, I don't know if there are injuries or whatnot, so I really don't hate this. There are some guys below. Now, Aaron Judge is still too high because Juan Soto's better. Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna, I would have those guys higher, and we'll get to those guys in a bit. Then we have Christian Yelich. I'm cool with him being a 96 just because his fielding's really bad. I don't know if it's really bad. I know it's not good. But he's one of the best hitters in baseball easily. Fernando Tatis. Now, here's the issue I have. I mentioned, Aaron Judge doesn't play a lot, but Fernando Tatis hasn't proven that he can play a full year yet. Aaron Judge did the stellar rookie year playing a full year. Fernando Tatis, he's not the best shortstop in baseball. No, Ben did not take a sick day. I don't know if you missed the beginning, man. Ben, unfortunately, is not doing the videos anymore. He'll still be part of the Instagram, probably comment a bit. To rewind to the beginning of the video because I'm talking about it a bit more, but Ben's no longer part of the videos, but Ben's still part of the Big Al Baseball Banter family. Yeah, once you're here, you stay. That's how it works, man. But getting back to this, man, a little too high for me. I would have Lindor over him. I'd have Trevor Story over him. Have Trey Turner over him. Maybe even Corey Seager over him. If I'm being honest, I probably sound like Fernando Tatis hater. Fernando Tatis is awesome. And, I understand boosting his status, his rating from a marketing perspective. He's a cover athlete, so I understand that, but a little high for me. Juan Soto, way too low. This dude should be like a 98. He's so good, man. Manny Machado, 95. I think is a perfect rating. Maybe a little high, but Manny Machado is awesome, man. One of the best gloves in the league, one of the best arms in the league. Oh boy, it's good. Freddie Freeman and then Ronald Acuna at 95s and 94. I'd probably switch the two. And now Ronald Acuna this year, he just went down with injury, which sucks. But Ronald Acuna, maybe you put him over Freddie Freeman for the defensive value, but Freddie Freeman I think is a slightly better hitter. Although Ronald Acuna this year has been cutting down on the strikeouts, which has really been kind of his Achilles heel in the past. Let me adjust myself here. So I forgot to go over the ratings. So I just went over the ranking. So Mike Trout's at a 99, makes sense. Mookie Betts 98, Nolan Arenado 98, Aaron Judge 97, Christian Yelich 96, Fernando Tatis 95, Juan Soto 95, Manny Machado 95, Freddie Freeman 95, and Ronald Acuna Jr. at 94. Moving into the pitchers now, we have Jacob deGrom coming in, and Rob Manfred said, Dad equals DeGrom. Yes, sir, because DeGrom's the GOAT, man. 99, Jacob deGrom, awesome. Shane Bieber at 95. I'd put Garrett Cole over him still. He'd probably be my number 3, but coming off the year he had now, I believe most of the ratings are based on the year before, the game update, new game every year, all that. So that totally makes sense. Clayton Kershaw is way too high, though. Number 5, Clayton Kershaw is still great. I don't think he's washed or whatnot. Is not better than Garrett Cole. And if you're, talking about last year, Trevor Bauer is too low. He should not be below. But Garrett Cole at 94. Max Scherzer, 90, or Garrett Cole comes in at 4th at 94. I'd probably either have him at 2 or 3. And this is not just, best starting pitcher. It's best starting pitcher last year, kind of a mix of all sorts of stuff. I don't know how the entire formula goes through. If any of you guys know, let me know if you guys play this game or whatnot. I'm just curious about, the ratings and whatnot. Max Scherzer coming in at 94 at 5th. Good spot for him. Trevor Bauer at 93. I think that's a fair spot just because Shane Bieber's never really been bad in the past. Trevor Bauer has. You probably expect me to shit on him because the whole thing he did with the Mets with the whole trolling and the merch and all that shit. But I think that's a fair rating for him. Chris Sale at 93. Yes, he's been hurting a lot, and I don't know if he'll come back to true form. But I mean, that sounds about right. Like last time he was pitching wasn't great, but he was also hurt a lot too. Liam Hendricks, so reliever at 93. Love seeing the relievers get some love. Cool with that. Aaron Nola at a 92. I'm also a little bit, I don't know if I would have him that high, but if you think about who's better than him, there really aren't too many other options. Maybe Lucas Giolito, but he's not off to a great start either. And then Steven Strasburg at 91. Now, I'm a Mets fan. I hate the Nationals. I love Steven Strasburg, though. He's so fun to watch. Such a great story, man. Coming from some fat kid who didn't even get drafted in high school, back when they were like 50 rounds to going from the number 1 overall pick. He's so fun to watch pitch, man. Watch him in the World Series. And it just sucks to see, all the injuries, but clearly injuries, with Judge, with all of them, those guys, not really getting any points taken off for injuries. You kind of have to have the same consistency with Strasburg. So yeah. So that was that was my opening monologue for the week. I'm probably going to keep the shows around an hour, kind of go half hour with the call-ins, depending on how many calls. I'm going to get to all you guys because I love talking with you guys. But link is now in the chat. I'm going to pin it real quick for you guys. Please call in. Also have the chat ready to go for you guys. Go ham there. No mods, trollers, welcome, man. Oh no, I said that on the last Met Fans Only stream I was on, or one of the last ones, and I gained like 5 subscribers and said no mods, trolls welcome, and he's got some trolls in that chat. I've gotten a few of them before, so I mean I'm kind of expecting some, but I think it's funny, man. So we got a caller on the line. You guys know him very well. He's been slacking though. He hasn't been on in a minute. Mets Talk with Hayden. What's going on, man?
What's going on? What's going on, guys?
Yo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to watch my Mets play today.
Yes, sir. Around 13 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, 13 minutes. I know you showed the stream, and I was pretty excited with the Rojas ejection overall, but
it was great, man. We were also synchronized too. We all got excited at the same time. It was just perfect.
Yeah, because
we think we're gonna do like a Google Drive something and like save our best moments when we're streaming from the year and make like a big ass video at the end of the year. I want to do something like that. That would be awesome, man. But So what are your thoughts? How do you think Rojas managed last night's game?
Well, listen, I mean, I say this a lot. I use this expression. Whenever a player gets thrown out of the game, the manager goes with him. It's kind of like, the expression, with the Titanic, or,
Captain goes down with the ship.
Titanic sank, Captain John Smith went down with the boat. Whenever a ship sinks, the captain goes down with it. It's the same metaphor for this. If a player gets thrown out, the manager goes with that player. I mean, I could speak as a high school athlete. If I get thrown out of my game, I would like to know that my manager or my skipper or whoever's, running the ball club has my back and will come out of that dugout. And even my teammates too. I mean, but
have you ever been tossed from a game?
I have not.
Yeah, let's try. Let's get that. Let's get it on video too.
I'm not really very
sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
Competitive, and I mean, high school ball is different. If you argue, you can like spend it for a couple.
Spend it exactly. Yeah.
It's not like MLB where it's like, oh, it's cool. The school will get involved. You don't want that, but
yeah,
Rojas, I'm
totally
starting.
Understandable.
Yeah, but Rojas, I'm starting to be lenient with him. Last night though, those bullpen moves really played off. Our bullpen's starting to look good. Jacob Barnes isn't much of a disappointment because Elman looked not horrific. These guys got us out of jams. I'm just hoping, this hitting really needs to kick in.
Yep.
We look at the hitting. Hitting is so important.
Horrendous recently.
It's like having 2 quarters. One quarter is the pitching, the other quarter is the hitting. And I mean, our pitching is the 4th best in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And if we had our hitting, we could easily, if Lindor could be this home run hitter, Alonso could be a slugger, Lindor, McNeil could have a 290 batting average, Nimmo could be a 400 batting average guy. These guys could do what they need to do.
400 batting, whoa. Maybe on base percentage. I don't know about batting average. Yeah.
Nimmo?
Yeah.
Listen, go after 10.
I mean, right now, hey, let's be optimistic, man.
Oh, I'm talking right now. I mean, during the end of the season, he'll probably finish 280, 290. But listen,
that's great for him. A player his style, that terrific. Yeah.
I mean, if this team could hit, I mean, that's really all they need to do. And I think it's more we're seeing a conjunction of so much stuff. Last year, the bats were there to an extent, but the starting pitching was bad. And then 2019, the bullpen was bad. So like each year, the old problems are getting fixed, but then new problems are rising. And I mean, with this whole runners in scoring position, it's really mind-boggling because everyone said, oh, but 2020, Chili Davis wasn't in the dugout. And then
We didn't have the instant. We didn't have the
And we
iPad
didn't have
for
the
the
instant
replay.
replay, but yeah, I was
Yep.
also going to mention that. I know that helped guys like JD Martinez out. So now that we have Chili Davis in presence, and oh, sorry. Yeah. So now that we have JD Martinez in presence and the video review play, what's their excuse? What's the excuse?
They have one valid excuse, and this needs to be corrected. There's been no stability within playing. It's rain delay, COVID delay, snow delay. I think, well, like I said earlier in the show, this team once they get back on a big homestand. Oh, I thought he was talking to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know.
I thought that he
curious.
definitely is. Jose's an Angels fan. Which Jose's on the line. You guys know him very well. He'll be up next. But I thought that was a Miami Heat hat from here because I know you're from Florida. But no, Angels hat. Ah, dope, man. But like I was saying, I think I wasn't crazy about only having Kesselman going for one batter because he's more of a length guy. Now, he probably would have gotten shelled after that. But this team needs to get back home once they got another good homestand and need to actually hit. Once they finally get their stability back, once no more, no traveling, none of that, need to hit with runners in scoring position. And now they're struggling to get hits now off these bad starting pitchers in Colorado, even, man. And like, I'm not panicking. I'm just talking about the current problems and what needs to be fixed. The only worry thing is that this was the issue last year. And other than Lindor, this is a very similar lineup because it's a great lineup. I mean, it should be a similar lineup.
And depth is absolutely important. And I think Rojas is starting to leave the lineup the same. And I'm very ambitious going in. I really think, DeGrom wants to start that home opener. That's rational. That makes sense. He wants to play in front of the fans. I accept that. And I think it'll be better to start off against the Nationals. But, the series against the Cubs, I mean, they really got to take the W tonight, split the series, take the W tomorrow, because, you cannot go back home with this. Just the mentality and the fact that the Cubs are supposed to be the worst offensive team. I mean, well, we're certainly playing like it. I mean, the fact that, our pitching gets to them, but then we have the few guys like Eric Sogard, who somehow try to be the Mets killer, Gene Segura, Alec Boehm, the new Chase Utley's, I could say.
Exactly.
But overall, I'm not concerned. I just think everyone has this mentality: 60 games.
Exactly.
If it was 60 games, or if it was August 31st right now,
it's okay to panic.
I'd be panicking. But we have 150 more games left to play. If this goes on for another month, then we could start to get a little worried, talk about firings, movements, be negative. Another month, but I think for now, all teams start off bad. Look at the Yankees right now. Do you really think DJ LeMahieu's not going to be able to hit with runners in scoring position?
Gleyber Torres, dear God, man.
They're all struggling. I mean, look at so many teams that are reviewed highly. The Blue Jays, I mean, their offense is nice, but so far, I mean, they're under 500.
Yep.
It's too early.
And here's the thing about the Mets. Like, here's the great thing why I'm so excited for the latter part of the season. We're panicking. We're not panicking. We're being so negative right now about this team, and we're in first place and we're above 500. Imagine when our team gets healthy and when we actually start to hit. This is going to be a lethal team, man.
I hope so.
And we need to take advantage of this year because the Braves have got a million injuries. The Nationals are playing like shit. The Phillies are the Phillies. So we need to take it. I want to win the division this year, man. And I think it's possible at this point with how many injuries the Braves have gotten, how poorly they've been playing, and with how good Marcus Stroman's been. Like, he's a big X factor for this team. If you get that solid 2-3 starter, like, that's phenomenal, man.
Right, I was going to say DeGrom and Stroman, they're one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball right now. And I think if we get a third one to kind of split the margin of,
we have the third one. Carrasco.
Right.
Exactly. It's like we're getting an addition it's like we're trading for a player for nothing. And obviously it might take a little time, not playing, they gotten hurt, especially last year being a 60-game schedule. You haven't played much recently, but I'm not too worried about that. And hey, man, Lugo's coming back. That's some good, length from the bullpen. Lugo is a key piece to this team, man.
Absolutely.
So I'm so excited for him to come back. But Hayden, man, really appreciate you coming. We'll probably watch the game together later.
Of course.
Let's go Mets tonight. You got a score prediction?
We got Peterson on the bump. I mean, the Phillies have been striking out machines. So hopefully Peterson can get another double-digit strikeout night. That'd be nice, but probably not realistic. I'm going to go – it's going to be a close game, I'll say that. I think it's going to be 5-3. I think the Mets bats are going
That's
to.
my.
I
I was
think
gonna say 5-3
the beginning of
Mets.
the game is going to start off close. Both teams are going to struggle towards the end of the game. I think the Phillies are going to get the Cubs are going to get the lead. Mets are going to come out there, and I think one of the bullpen relievers will get the W.
Yep.
And I know we were talking about injuries before I depart. I actually uploaded a video today on Mets.
I haven't checked it out. I'll be busy. I'll watch it after the stream.
Yeah, please,
Everyone, go check out Hayden's video. Mets Talk with Hayden. Hayden, appreciate you calling in, man. Good to talk to you as always. Have a good night. Hey, shout out to Hayden, guys. Calling in, man. Hayden always bringing the fire. Let's get back to this chat before we get our next caller on the line. Thoughts on tonight's lineup? I like tonight's lineup, man. You know, it sucks seeing Nimmo not playing, but guys need rest days. You know, I'm not mad about, oh, you have to play Nimmo every day. You know, you don't want him getting hurt. He's had some injuries in the past. You know, and McNeil's kind of our backup leadoff guy in a way. He gets on base a different way. He doesn't walk a bunch, especially this year. He hasn't really been getting on base too much. You know, it's below batting average. He's a hits guy, and it's going to be interesting for him. Darren, what's going on, man? Good to see you back here in the stream, my man. All right, so I'm going to get some water first because this caller, he brings the fire, man. Hang on one sec. And how's his team doing right now? And also, guys, like I mentioned, like we're going to be doing more, you know, kind of just Mets content with Ben not doing the videos anymore. But I'm totally open to have literally all fans of, you know, everybody. And I might even start talking football and, you know, not this show, like maybe on the same channel, just a different show and whatnot, you know. So totally open to all fans. We got an Angels fan in the line, and his team just lost to the Texas Rangers. Jose, how you doing, man?
Well, I'm pissed. But I'm ready. I'm coming in hot.
Tough loss, eh?
First off, fuck the Minnesota Twins for getting COVID this past weekend. Just because of Andrew Simmons is
Bro, that's your former player, man. You gotta love him.
Fuck him too. For not getting the vaccine.
Oh, that's controversial, my man.
That's the reason the Twins got. He's the reason the Twins got COVID.
Oh, really? I didn't know that, man. Were you guys gonna play the Twins? And then
we played one game on Friday, and then they got COVID, and the rest of the weekend games were canceled. So for that reason, fuck Andrew Simmons and everything. He stands for
the fire right now, man. Let's go.
Also, while I'm saying fuck Joe Madden for not knowing how to fucking rotate a bullpen. Yep. You don't bring a you don't bring a reliever with the guy
at any time, man.
With the guy already on first base.
Yep. Now I don't know, like I'm not watching the Angels game, but I totally understand. Like this is a great thing about the show, MLB therapy. If your team sucks, call in and just vent. It's perfect. And Jose's team just lost to the Texas Rangers, the same team that got no hit a few weeks ago, the team that's like, you know, really bad. So 7-4. Darren says Jose is so bad at the moment. First, let's talk Jets radio. Now he's his baseball team. Hey, Jose knows how to rant, man.
Do you remember what the Cubs did against the Indians? Game 7.
Yeah.
Joe Madden made the same fucking mistake.
Oh, and when Chapman gave up the homer?
Yes.
To Rajay Davis, yep.
Yeah, because he brought him in with the runners on base.
Yep.
Something you don't do as a fucking manager. Even I know that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I needed to get that off my chest.
Love
and
to
you,
hear it, man.
And you say trolls are invited, you would know. You troll my videos in the comments.
Yes, sir. Of course. I'll let you
Why
know.
do you
Blitz
troll?
boy. It's funny, man. I'm not, I'm not trying to be malicious and whatnot.
Alright.
Baseball therapy with Elias and Jose. I watched that.
Yes. Hopefully I don't.
Hopefully we don't
Hopefully-
need to go to baseball therapy. Hopefully our teams are actually good this year.
Hopefully young kids aren't watching this. Like little kids.
I don't think so.
I know my nephew can hear me. He's 8,
Oh, no.
but he's used to me. He's used to me cursing.
Oh, that's great, man.
Elias,
What's up, man?
what? I can't escape the Titanic. First the guys that
Oh
left
my god, because we
Jack.
mentioned it.
Yes.
Yep.
What the fuck is it with,
Blame Hayden, not me, man. He made the comment.
what the fuck is it with you guys?
Honestly, I don't know what if you guys don't know what Jose's talking about. Let's Talk Jets Radio, popular Jets channel. I happen to be the music director, not trying to flex and whatnot. They have like some Titanic jokes. I don't know what it's from. I guess I missed that joke, but I think they're gonna do a live stream watching the Titanic or whatnot. But I'll ask them what the joke's all about.
It's because Prime Time has said he has never watched the movie Titanic.
Oh yeah, I've seen it
Yes.
before. I've seen it once.
Everyone has seen it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, Prime Time. What the hell? Prime Time. Also, he's supposed to. He said he wanted to come on the show sometime. Prime Time. What's going on, man?
He said someday.
Yeah, someday. No, it's all good. I let Tyson know, that the Yankees suck on the show. You
Oh,
do this thing
God.
next time you call in. Tell him about the Yankees. Do me a favor. Do that, man.
I already have the shotgun on Thursday.
Oh, Lindor home run. I don't have the game on right now. Let's go.
Nice.
Francisco
Good job.
Lindor's first home run of his Met career. Thank you, Armand. Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, my man. Everyone always gets my name wrong, so I know people who don't. Lindor. I'm gonna probably get the game on soon. I'm focused on the stream right now, but that's good to
Just
hear.
turn
Jack
it
Francisco
on.
Lindor, my man. Just turn it on.
Yeah.
No, but I'm focusing on the conversation. I'll get it on.
Let me run and turn on.
Let's go. I'm saying it correct.
Yeah, for months I was calling you Elias and not Elias.
Yeah, it's all right. Everyone does it, man. And I'm so bad at like telling people to correct it because like I'm so used to it that I don't even bother anymore. But like,
well, I've had people mispronounce my name. It's like, what the fuck? It's a common name. If you're around Mexicans or
well, Jose, what do they say? It's Jose?
Jose,
No, it's Jose.
yes, or some person asked, do you spell it with an H? I looked at them.
Oh my god. Jose.
I
Spell it with an H, man.
I gave them the most sideways look.
That's funny too, because I used to speak Spanish when I was younger. I knew a bit of Spanish when I got some family from Colombia. I went to Colombia a couple summers ago. So
God bless you.
Thanks, man. You too, bro. Yeah. Well, my Spanish is awful, man. But at least I know not to pronounce your name Jose. But Jose, really appreciate you calling in, man. Jose, appreciate you calling in. All right. Thank you for the rants, for all of that, man. Please call in again next time. Good talking to you, buddy.
Of course. It's why you have me.
Yes, sir. All right. Baseball therapy with Elias and Jose. Good to talk to you, man. Have a good night.
Right. You too, man.
All right. Fire stuff from Jose as always. We actually got a first-time caller now. This guy, he's from Australia, I believe, which is sick that people from Australia know our show. And I actually taught last stream. I taught him about baseball, how it works. But Darren, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, mate, what's happening?
How you doing?
That Jose bloke, he's quite angry, isn't he?
Yeah, man. I mean, his
Just busting your chops,
coach
Jose.
making some, some bad decisions, and he's letting us know
Ah.
about it, man.
We got a stream coming up on the weekend,
Oh,
Jose and me.
oh, I saw that. It's that with the Browns fan, right?
Yeah, we were supposed to do it last weekend, but just the time zones and everything just
Oh, it's
threw us
crazy, man.
completely out. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've worked it out now. So I got to get up at, I think it's like 5:30 in the morning to make it
Oh,
for.
Jesus, man. That's
Yeah, that's all right.
That's nice of you, man. That's some dedication.
I usually get up. I get up early anyway, mate. I'm old.
Oh yeah. I'm the opposite. I cannot get up early, man.
Yeah,
But
no, I'm old and I've got young children, so I'm awake like
right
that
on.
time anyway.
I'll definitely
So-
tune into that stream for sure. So
Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about. I think we're talking just random draft crap for the Browns, the
Nice.
Seahawks, and I don't know.
who do you
We'll
want in
figure
the
it out.
draft?
As
Who
long
do
as Jose doesn't attack me.
Well, the
He
Seahawks
seems
don't
quite
have any
angry
picks
the
this
last
year.
few days.
They gave the Jets
Well,
all their picks.
Well, he was angry on your show, and then yesterday on Let's Talk Jets Radio, he was on there busting Tyson and Primetime's balls and Tyrone's balls. So maybe he'll be screaming at me
Yeah.
while
I didn't finish that episode. I got to finish. I'll listen to Jose's call on that because it's always funny, man.
Who do I want for the draft? I don't know, man. The Browns are sort of in a
They're
position
great
where
team.
it doesn't really matter.
Take the best player available, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I think what they'll be doing is drafting for the future. So they'll just be looking for depth players, really.
Yep.
I don't think they don't need a starter. They don't need anybody who needs to play. So
like you maybe use like another linebacker or something. But other than that, you need depth guys. And
yeah, true. We could, if there was one available at 26, that's going to be like a
stud.
But I just don't think we're going to get anybody that low. It's all going to depend, as you know. It's all going to depend on how many quarterbacks get taken.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, this what is it? Epilepsy news about Justin Fields that came out.
Oh, what's the news?
That Justin Fields has epilepsy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So
man.
that probably sort of lends itself to why he was slipping.
That might be. Yeah, teams probably know something we.
I mean, I'm just guessing. Obviously, I don't know that for a fact, but you would think that the NFL teams would have known about. Now, let me be clear when I say this. I have no idea what his epilepsy is like and whether it affects his play or not. It obviously doesn't because he's very, very good.
He's phenomenal.
But maybe that's why he's been. Because I've listened to obviously I listen to a lot of NFL stuff.
Yeah.
Here in Australia, lots of different radios, lots of different opinions, and I just could not understand why he was falling. And then like the Dan Orlovsky stuff came out about him, his work ethic and all that, and I was like, okay, that's just draft nonsense. Like, whatever.
It's typical stuff. You're gonna hear, complaint people, making random stuff. You spend so long trying to come up with new reasons whether to draft a guy or not. So you have to start making up stuff because after a while, once you do 30 mock drafts, there's not much more to say. I mean, there's no more pro days. There's no more, tape on.
Yeah. So I'll hear something, I'll hear someone say something about someone, and I'll just go and do like a 5-minute Google search. And so, for example, people were like, "Oh, he left Georgia because he couldn't get the starting position from Jake Fromm and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Is that really the truth?" So I went and Googled it, and I was like, "No, he didn't leave Georgia because of that." Because people were saying, "Oh, that lends to his work ethic. He didn't want to compete with Jake Fromm." So, and then I Googled it, and I was like, "Okay, he left Georgia for a completely different reason than the fact that he didn't want to compete with Jake Fromm." Yeah. Now I'm not going to go into it because people can find out what that reason was if they do some research. But it took me here in Australia 5 minutes to do a bit of research and go, "Oh, okay, maybe that's why he left Georgia then, not that." So I don't know, man. I just think that there's so much conjecture, and it'd be worse for you guys in America because you just be getting bombarded with it, right? I don't get it unless I seek it out, unless I go and seek out. The news, unless I watch Colin Cowherd or First Take, which I don't watch.
Terrible.
Right?
Yeah, I used to watch it.
Yeah. So I mainly listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, which is like obviously a daily show about the Browns, but
Yep.
there's a guy on there, Nathan Zagura, he talks like general NFL, and he's very, very good, very level-headed. Doesn't, and from what I've found listening to him for the last 6 years, most of the stuff he says is pretty bang on, even when it comes to the Browns and their players in the draft and that. So when I listen to him and he talks about certain players and says stuff, he's very, very good, and he's also very big in fantasy. So he talks about the game from a different perspective. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, I think the Jets really have an opportunity to turn the franchise around.
Yep.
But on the flip side of that, and I'm not saying this is, I don't want to be negative, because I know if Tyson watches, he'll try and shoot me. Just like the Browns, I think, or any team really, it's not just the Jets. Being a general manager and your job is being tied to the success or failure of your draft of kids that you've never spent any time with, like long-term time with. You don't know them as a person, so you're basically picking somebody on other people's information.
Yep.
So it's an incredibly difficult job, incredibly difficult thing to get right. I mean, you look at what did the stats show the other day? I think Baker Mayfield is the only quarterback drafted in the top, was it the top 5? The only quarterback drafted in the top 5 of the draft since 2011 that's still with his team.
Yeah, so it was before 29. Well, because it was all the 2016 guys. I think it's the first overall quarterback, because Stafford was 2009. He got traded.
Oh, yeah.
And then what other quarterback?
Yeah, I think it was from 2011.
Goff went to Detroit. He was 2016.
Yeah, Wentz is gone.
Luck retired.
Yeah. RG3's out of there.
I think it's the first and second overall picks. Trubisky.
Yeah.
He got went to the Bills. So yeah, I mean, I'm not
either way. It
to,
shows you.
Yeah, it's not always the best quarterback who's going to be the best in the NFL. But like,
no, it just shows you how difficult it is to get it right. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's you go back and see, like, all these guys like Mel Kiper and whatnot, what they said about all these guys coming out and how awful they've been. And I mean, like, they're a great prospect. Doesn't mean they're going to be a great player. But I mean, I'm just so looking forward to this draft. Like you said, it's a great opportunity to the Jets turn it around, get a legit franchise quarterback and surround him with talent.
I think what I've noticed is that because the GM's job is tied to the draft, right? Usually, and player acquisitions, that there's just no appetite to allow these guys to get better and develop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then you also get obviously the times where people will just second guess them or try and be the smartest guy in the room. Like, I don't know if you read the article a few years ago about why the Bears drafted Trubisky.
No, I didn't know.
So in essence, it was like, I think his name's Brian Pace, the general manager.
General manager of the Bears.
Yeah, they were impressed that they had like a dinner before the draft where they met with Trubisky, and they met him at a restaurant, and he drove like this beat up car.
Yeah.
To the restaurant.
I've heard something about that. Yeah.
He was and so Pace was impressed by the fact that a kid who came from so-called privilege in inverted commas was comfortable enough to drive a beat up car and wasn't worried about it. And it's like, if that's why you're selecting a quarterback, because he drove a beat up car and it's humble, you're a moron and you shouldn't be in the job.
Yeah. I mean, look how
especially when you had a guy called I don't know, Deshaun Watson in the same draft.
Yep, Patrick Mahomes,
who had just won the national championship.
yeah.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes obviously had a
super raw guy. Like, we did not expect.
Yeah, but so going back to it's funny you brought up Patrick Mahomes, but like when I was talking about Nathan Zagura, like back in that draft, the Browns were in the market for a quarterback, but they just so happened to draft, or just so happened Myles Garrett was in that draft, right?
Yep.
So he went number 1, but they were still in the market for a quarterback, and they had another pick in the first round. I think it was pick 14.
Did you guys
in the
get?
second,
you guys got
in the first round.
Jabril Peppers, right?
Was it that draft or was it the draft before?
Safety.
Yeah.
Traded him to the Giants for Beckham. I'm
No,
checking
that was yeah. Anyway, we basically had another pick in that round.
Yeah, 2017, 25th overall.
Yeah. So in that draft, Zagura was like, we want Patrick Mahomes. And there was talk then that he could possibly fall. So as the draft progressed, we've drafted Myles Garrett. The draft kept going. Mahomes hadn't been picked yet. And then as you're looking at the draft board, you're like, if it gets past sort of 15, he'll fall because no other team after 15 in
There's
that
no other
particular
quarterback
year's
in your
draft
teams.
needed a quarterback. Nobody thought that the Chiefs were going to draft up, trade up.
Alex Smith.
They had Alex Smith. They just been to the the playoffs. So and then they traded up and got him, and it was like, damn. So back then, like Zagura, he'd picked Mahomes. Now, might have been just lucky. I'm not saying he's the greatest analyst in the world, but just lends credence to his fact that he actually does know what he's talking about at times.
Chris Sims had him as his number one quarterback in that draft.
Yeah, so the fact that the Bears took Trubisky, I mean, even like the Giants taking Daniel Jones, like what are you doing, man?
Huge reach.
Like I always go back to the fact that past performance is always an indicator of what's potential. Yeah, that's it. So it was the Peppers pick. Yeah, because after they drafted Peppers, after they drafted Njoku, they traded back in and got Jabril.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they traded back into the first and got Jabril. Yep. So I just think it's such a crapshoot.
Absolutely.
Because
especially this year, a lot of players opted out. You don't have the combine, which I don't put too much stock into that. That's more about, teams looking at mechanics, looking at medicals and whatnot. I don't a 40-yard dash doesn't necessarily make or break the number one quarterback or whatnot. Oh, Justin Fields ran this 40. I don't care. Did he play as well?
One of the things that makes me laugh when they talk about Justin Fields, and this is really any sort of quarterback that plays in a good school, not just necessarily Justin Fields, but it just so happens to be the common thread at the moment when people are arguing about Justin Fields versus Zach Wilson. It's like, oh, Justin Fields only throws to his first read.
Yep.
Yeah, that's because his first read's freaking 20 meters wide open.
Yep.
Why would you?
And the coach schemes him up to be wide open every time. Exactly.
And it's because your wide receiver is 20 times better than the person covering him.
Corner, exactly.
So why would you then go, oh, well, he's 20 meters open, or 20 yards open. I better go through my progression so I'll look good in the draft.
Exactly.
Then let's say he did that.
Don't care about how good he looks for the draft. He wants to win games in college football. So the coach, let's make our number one receiver the third read here, so Justin looks better.
Yeah, and then let's say he did that. Then the analyst would be like, oh, he's bad at decision making. He can't make decisions quick. He goes from the 20-yard open guy to the
wide open receiver. Exactly.
Yeah. He goes from the 20-yard open guy to the 10-yard open guy to the 3-yard open guy, and then comes back to the 20-yard. He can't make decisions. It's like, man, like, what do you want from these kids? They're obviously, if you're drafted to a Power 5 school, you are a good player.
Yep.
So you've shown some form of excellence at a young age for these schools to recruit you, right?
Yep.
Then you get to college and you're in the pool, and then you show enough promise that the school says, we're going to start you, whether that be Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan, whatever. They say, you've shown enough promise and you're the best quarterback we have, we're going to start you. Whether it's so, and it's also, I mean, I don't really know how it works in America with like high school recruiting and that sort of things. And I'm sure there's a raft of excellent quarterbacks that have been missed because their school doesn't get heavily recruited or
Maybe in like a small area.
They live in a small or whatever it is. They couldn't afford to go to all the quarterback camps, so they never got known and that sort of thing. So it's always such a challenge for these teams wherever they draft to get it right. And I just feel like if I take my Browns experience into it, that there's so much weight based on the decision of who to draft at quarterback that whoever it is, it's almost unfair to them.
Yeah.
Unless they're a certain type of person. So when Baker had enough I don't know what you want to call it. I'm trying to think. Yeah. No, there's like we have a term here in Australia, but I don't want to say it.
It's all good.
No, like I'm trying to make it sound like so you will understand me, because if I say the Australian term, you'll be like, what's he talking about?
What the hell is he talking about? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, not so much confidence, but it's even more than confidence. It's like, let's call it like he had enough bulldog. Let's call it
bulldog mentality. Yep.
No. So like he didn't care what other people thought about him. He didn't care what the media said. He didn't care what the fans said. All of that would just like bounce off him, and he had enough character to put up with the shit, and then enough arrogance or self-belief. I'll call it self-belief, that then manifests itself to those people who are outside his inner circle. It comes across as being arrogant. Yeah. But it's that much self-belief that I'm the guy to turn the Browns around. Now, whether he has or not, that's up for argument. But I think the Jets, whoever they choose, and it's obviously looking entirely likely that it's going to be Zach Wilson.
Sure hope so.
He seems to have like everybody. I've seen some negative comments about him where they're saying that he's Johnny
rich.
Manziel. Like he's the next Johnny. That's just ridiculous.
They say the same shit about Baker Mayfield.
Exactly. So I sort of hope that if they do get, like, I sort of hope for the Jets' sake that Zach Wilson is a little bit like that, where because from what I understand, like playing in New York is very difficult with the media and.
Yeah. And like you're pretty much public. Like if you do something bad, the media is gonna. I mean, if another team had a butt fumble, it wouldn't be as talked about now. If another team had their quarterback say, "I'm seeing ghosts on primetime football," it wouldn't be talked about. Hell, if this generational, which every quarterback says they see ghosts. If you listen to any quarterback coach, they're like, "Oh, that's like a common thing." And if any other team had, a generational talent, with Trevor Lawrence coming out. They didn't say there's a reason they didn't say, oh, he should, not go to the Jaguars, because the 7 Jaguars fans, like, they don't get the attention that, because they don't have much of a fan base.
I mean, that I see ghosts thing is such a throwaway line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just in the heat of battle, I'm seeing ghosts. I'm having a crap, I'm having a bad game. I'm seeing ghosts. But even the thing that I most worry about for like or him too, but the thing that I most worry about for Zach Wilson and even Trevor Lawrence is they're going into bad teams. You don't draft you're not drafting at the top unless you're a bad team. And
or trade up a ton. Like if you're the 49ers just had a bad year,
exactly.
Or you trade up a bunch.
But you know what? If you look at the 49ers, when Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't started for them, what have they done?
Been awful. They've
been awful, right?
Yep.
So the point I'm trying to make, I guess, is that I worry for all these young kids and it's been like this for decades. It's not something new that I've just figured out, but if they don't have the protection, they don't get the time, they're going to get sacked a lot.
Yep.
Like look at Joe Burrow. Eventually they got to him, right?
Yep. It's unfortunate, man.
Unfortunately, they eventually got to him. They injured him. And, like, I remember when I was in the military, they used to say every time we have a surgery, I remember doing like all our medical courses and stuff for combat medicine and stuff. And they saying like, every time you have a surgery, you're never the same.
Yeah.
Like once you cut into your muscle and tear it up you're never the same. So he's now had a knee and I know knee reconstructions these days, players come back often better than what they were before. But what they can't repair is that second thought in your head.
Shell shock. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Fear of getting hit. Exactly.
Not so much the fear, but it adds another thought into your head when you're at the line of scrimmage. For example, Baker goes up with the number 1 offensive goes up with a great offensive line, he's not thinking that his protection is going to break down.
Yep.
So his thought process at the line of scrimmage is completely different to a guy who's going up going, well,
what if he gets
not
beat
only
here?
have
I step here, I roll out
Yeah.
here. Exactly.
So not only have I got to worry about all the other stuff, and now I've got to think, okay, when my left tackle lets him through, or my right guard lets his guy through inevitably. So it just adds another step. Even something as simple as, okay, I drop back into my, I take my 3-step or my 5-step drop. Before I throw this ball, I've just got to take another beat and look at.
You got some
Thank
fans,
you, Adam.
man.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks,
I hope you're
Coach
enjoying retirement, Coach Gase. Yeah, I just think like, it adds another like beat, so I drop back in my 5-step drop. I'm about to pass. I've got the right read, but just before I do that, I glance to my right or my left to make sure my coverage hasn't broken down. And that's often enough to make a bad throw.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's off, just that split second is enough to make the quarterback throw. So that's what I worry about. And because I watch the NFL more holistically, like even though I'm a Browns fan, I wouldn't like call myself.
You're
like,
also an NFL fan. Like you're gonna watch.
I'm an NFL
teams.
fan first, a Browns
Exactly.
fan second, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you've been you told me you've been an NFL fan for a while.
Yeah, for like 30 years. Yeah,
for a short period of time. Yeah.
Well, I only became a Browns fan after I was in Afghanistan in 2010 and 2011, and I was watching football like with an American guy, and he went for the Colts, and then another guy was a Giants fan. So when I came back from Australia, when I came back from there to Australia, I was I kept watching football, and I was like, I don't have a team. Maybe I should have a team. So I thought about going for the Giants, and then because my friend from the States went for the Giants, and then I was like, no, I can't do that. That's a sucker move. So how am I going to like have banter with him if I go for the same team? I need, someone to rag on him about. So, as I told you before, I just Googled the worst team in the NFL. up came the Browns. I was like, oh, the Browns. So then I knew who they were, but I didn't have any history or anything. So then I started watching. I watched that Believe Land. Have you ever seen that documentary? No. Yeah, so there's a documentary called Believe Land. It's basically about how sad Cleveland sports is and how they've won nothing. This was before the
Texans. That's funny.
Yeah, this was before the Cavs won the World Championships. So
before like the Indians made the World Series. Yep.
Yeah, all before that. So it was and it was such a sad show. And then my rugby league team here in Australia, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, we have a very, very similar history to the Browns. Like really, really good in the early, in the early years in the 70s and the 80s, really, really good team. Then in the 90s to the 2000s, just completely horrendous. Like not a single winning season in 17 years. Eventually get kicked out of the competition, just like Art Modell moved the team to Baltimore.
Yep.
So then all of a sudden you've got no team
to
support, and then like fan involvement and fan marches and sort of stuff. Then the team gets reinstated.
Yep.
Almost identical to the Browns, have a legacy of crap continued, and then in 2007 my rugby league team became really good, and now we're one of the powerhouses of the competition.
Nice. That's interesting, man. We actually
got it's very
for Coach Gase. Darren, what do you think of Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit? Do you see promise out of them?
I see promise out of both of them. The issue with both of them, unfortunately, is their availability.
Yep.
So Denzel Ward hasn't played a single full season since he was drafted.
Yep.
Grant Delpit missed all of last year.
Yep.
Yeah. With an Achilles. So I'm excited about. Apparently, Denzel Ward's put on a bit more muscle this year as well.
Oh, nice.
He's still young. He's still filling out.
Yep.
Denzel Ward is a top 5 corner, no doubt.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Like he is locked down. He's great.
Yep.
Grant Delpit, obviously the jury's out because he hasn't played.
Yep.
So, but the team's very excited about him. I can't really have an opinion on him because I haven't really seen him play. I'm excited about what the potential
It's a funny comment from Jose. Hope you don't
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
repeating
man.
this on Saturday. Someone asked you how you became a
No
Browns
worries,
fan.
Jose. I'll give you the long form answer to that question on
Right
Saturday,
on.
man. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Whenever I tell people that, they're like, "What? You Google's worst team?"
Great
Yeah,
story,
that's what
man.
I did, man. That's exactly what I did. If it had came up the New York Jets, I'd be a Jets fan. Seriously.
Only if you waited a few years.
If I waited 2 more
You
years, it
waited
would have
till
been
this
the
year.
Jets.
Yep, would have been the Jets.
Yeah,
Perfect.
would have been the
Could have
Jets
suffered the
because
rest of us.
because the next year the Jets had number 2 pick
Yep.
when they got Darnold. Yeah, so
No, they had
um,
no, they had the 6th, but they were trying to tank for like the top pick, but they had the 6th pick and had to move up because
yeah,
Josh McCown, former
man, I'll
Brown,
tell you,
played
it was a
well.
challenge because the first year I started like watching every Browns game, they went 1-15.
What year was that?
So 2016.
Yep.
So get
So
this,
you, so you didn't watch
Elias.
the Manziel era?
I did, but I was sort of like just watching in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't following the Browns, but I was watching, paying attention to the NFL. But guess what time I get up to watch the Browns? Just have a guess.
4:30 in the morning. It's been crazy like
A
that.
bit earlier than that, mate.
3:30? I don't know, 3:00?
3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
So when the Browns went
That's some
1-15,
dedication, man.
when the
That's
Browns went
crazy.
1-15, I got
You
up
got
at
it,
3 o'clock in the morning for every single game.
You got one win. That's good.
One win. And then towards the end of the season, because of daylight savings time and all of that, the clocks changed. So I get up at 5 o'clock.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Aaron,
So
thank you so much for calling in, man. It was
I then
dope
I'll just
talking
take,
with
and then the
you.
second season I was
Oh
like,
yeah, go for it.
all right, I'll give these guys one more shot. And they went
0-16.
0-16. And then I was
Well,
like,
we got
okay,
the number
I'm
one
done.
pick. It can't get worse.
So then I said to myself, I said, okay, if they do not draft a quarterback first overall, I'm done. I don't care who it is.
Yep.
But they got to draft a quarterback because there was all this talk like they're not going to draft a quarterback. They're going to do all this crazy
pick. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get AJ McCarron from the Bengals and all this crap.
Imagine,
and I was like,
dude.
if they do that, I'm done. And they drafted Baker, so I was like, okay, I'll give him a chance.
Yep.
But it's been a tough log. Anyway, bro, thanks for having me on.
Of course, man.
Sorry I didn't
Appreciate
talk any baseball,
No,
but I know nothing about
good, man.
baseball.
I should probably start I'm thinking about doing some football content too. So for all I have a lot of football
Man,
people.
this is what I was
channel,
saying to Tyson the other day. And he was like, we don't talk NFL, we talk Jets. I was like, man, just do like 5 minutes of general NFL news. Like, oh, Alex Smith retired. Let's talk about that for 5 minutes.
I mean, it definitely comes up because in a way it'll affect the Jets because, we thought about signing him to be our backup quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
because I said to him, I said, I just wanted to
his
talk about the
response was
Browns.
funny. He's like, what the hell? He said, let's talk Jets radio, not let's talk NFL radio.
Like, he just slanders me every time I go on. But it's all right. It's all good. It's all fun, man. Have a good day or night, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's
have a good night.
8:13 right now.
Yeah, it's 10:13 in the morning.
That's crazy.
I should actually be doing some work, shouldn't I?
Oh, go get to that, man. Appreciate you calling in. Have a
See
good night. Yo, shout out to Darren, man. I know some of you guys, this is a baseball channel. But towards the end of the show, great having some football. I think I might actually, once you started talking football, everyone started getting the chat talking football. So I think I'm gonna do a separate football show, on this channel, but do a show with that. So I missed a little bit in the chat. Seahawks have 3 picks. Yup. I'm sick of mock drafts. I mean, I do them during English class for fun because I'm so bored. But yeah, after a while, like all these guys who just do nothing but mock drafts on YouTube, it's like, don't you run out of stuff to talk about? Like you pray someone gets hurt or so their stock can fall when you don't want someone getting hurt, but you want some big thing like the whole Caleb Farley thing to really affect that. The Seahawks and Browns are stacked and drafting for depth. Yep. Drafting for the future. Every team drafts for the future and for the current. I mean, depends how good your team is. Browns in 2015. Yep. Garrett Peppers. And then Adam Gase is here. Thanks for having me on Go Mets. You misspelled it, buddy, but appreciate you calling in. Oh no. Oh no. All right. So last time on Let's Talk Jets Radio, I talked about Bless Austin, a cornerback in the Jets, and how bad he is. And Bless, man, I apologize because Bless Austin's here. You're my favorite player on the team. Stud. You're the next Darrelle Revis, buddy. Bless Austin for life. Thank you for having me on. Go Mets, my brother. I'm gonna end the show here, guys. Obviously, unfortunate news with Ben. Ben, though, everyone right. Thanks, Ben, in the chat. I don't know. But Ben, I'm gonna make sure he comes back to call in a few times every now and then to rant about how bad the Yankees are. But thanks to Ben, for everything about, what am I talking about? Thanks to Ben for all the stuff he's done with the channel and whatnot. I'm the best corner on the team. I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard. We don't have any corners. So yeah, guys, this is a really fun episode. I might make like a big update video of how I'm going to do the channel now that I'm riding solo now. I'll probably do some, football content like I talked about. That's always good fun. Look at Metcalf 10 out of 10 times. Oh, this is gold. All right, man. I'm definitely going to tune into Darren and Jose's stream. You guys check that out. Check out Seahawks Jose Rodriguez on YouTube. I want to thank Hayden, Jose, and Darren for calling in. Really appreciate you guys. I'm going to go watch the Met game now. Francisco Lindor with the home run. Appreciate you guys. And oh shit, I was just looking at quick news. Twins just won their 11th game in a row. Walk off. See you guys next time.